What's up, guys? In the works, and this is a pretty good game right here. I am pretty proud of this one. I die a couple times in the beginning, which I've cut out due to time constraints, but for the most part this is a never-ending kill streak, and you know, it's a pretty good one. And we're using the M27 IAR, which is a weapon I did a video on about a month and a half ago about how I used to just absolutely love using this weapon. And ooh, bad aim, bad aim, bad aim, don't look, don't look. But I was in a squad with Sweat and Merrill last night. We were trying to get some live gameplays, and this is the one of the games I got. It was a little long, so I don't think it really was a good live gameplay for me. But for the most part, this was an awesome streak with this weapon, and I've been trying to get back into playing the support class. And you know, we talked about this the other day in one of my videos about how it seems like all the support players out there don't actually play support. They play selfish, and it seems like they don't know how to throw down ammo. Now, I'm going to wager that the majority of players that play like that aren't the type like you guys. I'm sure there's tons of awesome support players out there. But I'm talking about the general whole. It seems like there's so many people running around with these giant machine guns that they forget, hey, you know, I'm supposed to be giving my team ammo. And that's what I've been fooling around with the support class a lot. You know, I want to get back in that mindset. I used to use LMGs a ton. In fact, on Xbox 360, I used LMGs quite religiously. It's one of my favorite classes to fool around with. But I'm trying to get back into it on the PC. You know, I haven't really used a lot of support, and when I have, it's been like a shotgun or a PDW, which, you know, it's fine if you want to do that. Just make sure you're throwing down the ammo. But the funny thing about the M27 is it's basically a glorified assault rifle. I don't really ever see it as a true LMG. It doesn't have the LMG state of mind, which, you know, on In the Works Media, we love the LMG state of mind. You know, bipod up, big ammo, sit there, unload some rounds into people's faces. But I actually realized something about the midway point of this game. If I had the live game audio in there, you could hear my realization was like, oh shoot, I have the foregrip on. And I meant to have bipod on, honestly. I meant to have the bipod. But something happened, you know, I goofed it up, and I'm using the foregrip, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, man, why are my shots, this thing is not accurate. I don't remember it being this poor. But, you know, it works out in the end because this is probably one of my better kill streaks in a while, and a good example of really just how to play rush as a team, how to really work to your weapons' strengths and weaknesses. And you can play a lot more aggressive with the M27 than the other LMGs, at least in my eyes. Unless, you know, you're an absolute beast, you know, you're a monster with that PKP, which there are some people out there that just, you know, they just wreck with the PKP. I mean, I saw this guy the other day that freaking went, oh, what was it? I think it was like 60-5 in a rush game with the PKP playing aggressive. So it is possible. You can do it with the belt feds. I think it just the fast reload on this M27 really makes it easy to sit there and rush in there, you know, be a little bit more aggressive as opposed to hanging back and bipoding up. So you're looking at about 2.5 seconds for an empty reload on this thing, and if you want a tactical reload where you still have one in the chamber, it's 1.9 seconds. So that's really swift. I mean, that's fast for an LMG. Considering that you only have 46 rounds, I believe, to work with, I mean, that's not your typical LMG. You know, I always look at an LMG as, you know, bipoding up with a 200 rounds, sitting there just unloading like Rambo. You know, this is more of a aggressive assault rifle, and that's why I've never really been a big fan of it after they patched the game. When the game first came out, I loved the M27. I thought it was a lot of fun to use because, like I said, it was a little bit different than the other LMGs. It gave the support class some variety, but then once I kind of discovered the M249, I was like, man, I'm not using this. M249 is way better. But then they patched all the belt feds. They made it so the recoil and then the initial recoil on those things are just absurd. And I had to find an alternative, and I've never really been a support player since that first spring patch with the suppression. And support was like, that was my thing. I mean, I loved playing the LMG kits. It was just awesome. I felt so rewarding when I would sit there and bipod up and mow down 5 or 6 people that, you know, when they patched it, I was like, man, you know, I just have no motivation to go on. And luckily, I'm starting to rediscover some of my old favorites. You know, I've been trying to get back into the PKP as well because that was a weapon. Like I said, it can be deadly in the right hands, and that slow rate of fire yet really high damage is really nice. I mean, I know in that scenario you could use the M60 as well. The M60 works pretty good in that scenario. But as far as attachments for the M27, you always want to go heavy barrel, sometimes bipod. Don't use foregrip. Don't be like me, guys. Foregrip is only going to hurt your aimed accuracy. If I had the heavy barrel, I would have put it on. I don't think I've unlocked it yet, though. I think I'm pretty close to unlocking it. Actually, I did unlock it at some point. Yeah, I misspoke there. I did unlock it at some point last night, but this weapon is just... It's a good weapon if you want to play the assault kit with ammo, if that makes any sense, because this is basically an assault rifle. I mean, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is an assault rifle with 46 rounds, and though it's not really the best candidate for a bipod, oftentimes I think the best little setup for this would be maybe the bipod with a heavy barrel. Now, you may recognize this from one of our past showdowns. You know, we did the M27 versus the L86. But surprisingly enough, a lot of you guys were a little upset by the results. You know, it was one of the first times that I saw people legitly upset that, you know, the L86 beat the M27. But I think there were several factors you guys looked at. For one, the L86 can get extended mags, which kind of buffs it a little bit. You know, it does have that heavy barrel. It has a little less recoil in my eyes. It's a little bit easier to control. The bullpup design does make it so that, you know, the hip fire is a lot better on that thing. But, you know, when I think about it, I'm like, well, the M27 does have a lot of uses. That fast reload is pretty outstanding. I mean, that's a big advantage to have in a firefight. You know, considering that you've got 46 rounds if you got one in the chamber. You're in a firefight with a guy, you need to reload, you can take out a lot of enemies with this weapon, and I mean it does the same damage as all the other assault rifles. So that's one thing to consider when you're looking at some of these LMGs, especially the ones like the RPK, the M27, the L86, even the QBB, because it's not really a true high magazine weapon, and even the MG36. So Sport class actually has a lot of variety when you sit down and think about it, but I can see why it's not so heavily used. But man, give me ammo. When I ask for ammo, guys, if you're going to play the support class, just give some ammo, guys. It's so easy. But that was a nice little run there. I think it was almost 21 kills, something like that. Maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. It was a lot of kills. But if you missed any of my past videos, I did my 500th video yesterday, guys. It was a super special video, so if you missed it, go check it out. Be sure to be kind to me on that because I spent a lot of time putting that together for you guys. And before that, I did an M16A4 video where I talked a little bit about my thoughts on that weapon because it's kind of a weapon that's underused, but you know, the M16 is used a lot itself, so I didn't technically make it an underused weapon. So check those two out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.